Hey everybody, welcome back to week 6, part 2. In this one, we're going to talk about the authenticated encryption schemes. We have discussed the importance of providing both encryption and authentication to ensure secure communication. Now, let's look at some of the common schemes that you use to implement authenticated encryption. There are three primary approaches, and they are the encrypt then MAC (ETM), MAC then encrypt (MTE), and the encrypt and MAC (ENM). Each scheme has their strengths and weaknesses and chosen based on the specific requirements and constraints of the systems. Let's first with the encrypt then MAC. In this scheme, the plain text is first encrypted, then a MAC is computed over the ciphertext. The MAC and the ciphertext are sent to the recipient. The recipient then verifies the MAC before attempting to decrypt the message. This method is generally considered to be the most secure out of the three, as it avoids a number of potential security pitfalls that can occur in other schemes. In the encrypt and MAC scheme, an example of its usage can be seen in the transport layer security prototype, which is the TLS, when it is configured with a scheme with a stream cipher such as the RC4. The TLS protocol is the foundational of data privacy and security on the internet. Used widely in the web browsing, emails, instant messages, and voice over IP, encrypted MAC is also used in other secure transport protocols like the SSH or SSH and the IPsec. The second scheme is the MAC then encrypt. In this method, a MAC is first computed over the plaintext. The MAC is then attached to the plaintext, and this combined with the data is encrypted. Upon receipt, the recipient first decrypts the message and then verifies the MAC. While this method is still secure when implemented correctly, it is less favorable due to its certain theoretical vulnerabilities. The MAC then encrypt is used in earlier versions of the TLS, specifically versions 1.0, 1.1, and 1.2. These versions of the TLS uses this scheme by default when configured with block ciphers. This practice has raised some theoretical security concerns, and is one of the reasons why the encrypt then MAC is generally preferred today. However, when implemented correctly, the MAC then encrypt can still provide secure communication. Next, we're going to be talking about the third scheme, and which is the encrypt and MAC. In this method, the plain text is first encrypted, then a MAC is computed over the plain text. Both of the ciphertext and the MAC are sent to the recipient. Upon uh, upon receiving it, the recipient verifies the MAC. If the MAC is valid, the recipient then decrypts the message. This method provides security, but like the MAC then encrypt, it has potential vulnerabilities and less favorable compared to the MAC then comparable to the encrypt then MAC. Encrypt then MAC, encrypt and MAC um, has other authenticated encryption schemes in such certain configurations of the secure shell transport protocol, or the SSH. This protocol is widely used to secure data communication, command line logins, remote command execution, and other secure network services between two networked computers. However, due to potential vulnerability, this method is often replaced with the encrypt then MAC in modern systems. Okay, first we're going to jump into some quiz questions. So, why is the MAC then encrypt then MAC (ETM) scheme generally considered to be the most secure amongst three primary authenticated encryption schemes? Is it because it avoids potential security pitfalls associated with with other encryption and MAC computation? Is it because it computes the MAC over the plaintext? Is it because it is faster than the three schemes? Or is it because it is used less computational resources? And then the correct answer for this one is A. And the reason behind this is that the encrypt then MAC ETM scheme is generally considered to be the most secure of the three primary authenticated encryption schemes. This is because it avoids potential security issues and then that can arise when a MAC is computed before encryption, such as the MAC then encrypt, or the MAC is computed, or when the MAC is computed on a plain text rather than a ciphertext, such as the encrypt and MAC. Perfect. Now let's go into another quiz question. So we talk about here is in the MAC then encrypt, the MTE scheme. What is the sequence of operations performed at the sender's end? Is it A, the MAC is verified and then the ciphertext is encrypted? B, the ciphertext is decrypted and then the MAC is verified? Is it C, the MAC and the ciphertext are verified simultaneously? Or D, the MAC is verified, the ciphertext is decrypted, and then the MAC is verified again? So the correct answer for this one is B. And that's just because the MAC then encrypt MTE scheme upon receiving the message. The recipient first decrypts the message, then verifies the MAC. This sequence is essential to the MTE method and distinguishes itself from the other two schemes. All right, and then we have another one here. So, which protocol can be configured to use the encrypt and MAC ENM scheme? Is it the TLS, the IPSEC, POP, or is it the SSH? And then the correct answer for this one is the Secure Shell SSH. And for this one is that the ENM scheme can be configured to be used in the SSH transport protocol, although it is less favorable due to the potential vulnerabilities compared to the ETM scheme, and it is still provided as an example of the real world application. Okay, now let's get into authenticated encryption mods of operations. So for this one, the definition is the specific methods and techniques for providing both encryption and authentication when encrypting data. So as we hear, we have multiple different types that we're going to run into now. We have the GCM, we have the CCM, we have the AEAD that we talked about earlier, and then we have the offset code book mode. So for the GCM, is designed for a high performance on systems that support parallel processing. It simultaneously encrypts and authenticates data, providing efficiency throughout. However, it's highly sensitive to reuse for null values. The catastrophic loss of a security could occur if a uh, null is reused. So GCM is widely used in protocols like the IPESC and the MAC ESC, and even in cloud storage such as Google Cloud. So the CCM mod is known for its simplicity and suitability for environments with with limited processing capabilities, such as a wireless network. However, it is less efficient than the GCM and requires the size of the data to be known in advance. It's frequently used in wireless communication standards, including Wi-Fi's, Zigbee, and the WiMAX. The AEAD offers flexibility by authenticating additional unencrypted data along with the encrypted data, or excuse me, um, it offers flexibility by authenticating additional unencrypted data along with the encrypted payload. However, its security depends on the underlying encryption and the MAX methods to be correctly used. It's incorporated in a various of IETF protocols like the TLS and the SSH, offering robust, secure measurements for data communication. Next, we're going to be talking about the AEX and the OCB, providing parallelism of fast processing on certain hardware and can authenticate additional unencrypted data. They are more complex to implement, and the use of the OCB has been limited due to its patent restrictions. Nevertheless, there are several important roles in specific applications requiring their unique advantages. For instance, some versions of the SSH protocol uses OCB, and secure file storage systems might employ the EAX. Perfect. Let's do some quiz questions here. And then, so for this question, tests your understanding of the processing capacity of different authenticated encryption mods. Consider the characteristics of each mod and recall which can be utilized parallel processing to its advantage. Is it the CCM, GCM, EAX, or the OCB? And so the correct answer for this one is B. Um, and it is designed for high performance on systems that supports parallel processing. Its ability to simultaneously encrypt and authenticate data cope with its efficiency throughout, makes it the most suitable for most systems and can perform parallel operations. Perfect. Let's get on to the next one. So, which authenticated encryption mod requires the size of the data to be known in advance? Is it the CCM, GCM, the EAEX, or the Cha-Cha 20? So for this one, the correct answer is A. And the CCM mod requires the length of the data to be known in advance. This is a unique characteristic of the CCM, making it suitable for certain applications, but less flexible for some other mods. Next, let's get into the next one. So for this one, we're going to be talking about the use of AE mods as um, so this question asks about the external factors affecting the use of certain authenticated encryption mods. So recall the information regarding legal or patent issued that has limited the use of the particular mod. So for this one, the correct answer is going to be C, the OCB. And the usage of the OCB or the offset codebook mod has been limited due to its patent restrictions. It has specific advantages like a faster processing due to its parallelism and the ability to authenticate additional unencrypted data. These patent restrictions have reduced its adoption in the world of cryptographic systems. Okay, let's get on to the next one. This one is going to be the end of it. Although, before I end this session, I did want to mention that um, we have right here a quiz 2 discussion. So for this one, if you guys remember um, during the actual syllabus, I mentioned that throughout the course, I'm going to be giving something called the um, a Easter egg. So what I want for this recording and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give one extra credit point to anybody, and this is open for everybody, um, that sends me an email or a picture or a meme expressing everything that they feel from this week. So it could be anything funny, you can be creative, whatever the case may be. So basically, what I want you to do, because you're watching this video, and this actually does not show up in the actual slides presented on D2L, so this is why it's considered an Easter egg. What I want you to do is to go to any site, but I use GIF. Um, Look up any funny meme or any GIF that you want. So we talked about schemes and we talked about authentication. So let's call it something like, I don't know, locking. So something of a lock, right? And you can just send me any memes that you want. Um, just email it over to me, and then you have until the end of this week. So, and when the quiz is due, so July 2nd, that's when you have to be able to send it to me. After that, you won't receive any credit for it. But kudos for watching this. You get some free extra credit points for watching it. So thank you for that. But other than that, if you have any questions, concerns, feel free to reach out or Slack. Well, sorry, not Slack. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message or give me an email. But good luck on quiz 2. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.